Okay, so today's learning target is 4B. We're going to be solving linear equations using substitution method. Substitution is the key word here. We need to use one item and plug it into the other. Okay, we're going to use one item, plug it into the other equation. So we have two things, solve and substitute. Okay. Now, first one's a little bit of a review. I'm going to solve these both for y, and I'll graph them. Okay, so I solved both these equations. If you're not sure how to solve these equations for y, please go back to the video for Unit 3, 3D, solving, 3E, using slope-intercept form. Okay, so for this first graph, I'm going to start at positive 1. I'm going to go down 5, and then plus 4. So we're going to go down 5, because negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then plus 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's my first line. So I'm going to do that in blue, because that's kind of the blue equation that I got going there. And then the second one, I'll do in red. Let's get this line a little bit where it's supposed to be. And that one I'm going to start at negative 3. Again, this blue value here is negative 3. Again, should be on the blue line. Should be on this line right here. So I'm going to start at negative 3, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. And I'm going to go down 1 and then plus 4. So down 1 and then plus 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it seems like that's where they seem to touch. So I'll draw my second line. I'll do this one in red. So that this point and the starting point. Oops, not what I was looking for. Here we go. And your answer is the point at which they cross. This point right here. And again, to find that point, I'm just going to look up and to the left for my x values and my y values. My x value is going to be x equals 4, and my y value is negative 4. Y equals negative 4. So 4, negative 4, there is one solution. Okay, so solving systems of equations. First step is solve an equation for one variable. Okay, you can pick any variable you want. I'll show you how to pick the correct one. Okay, there's an actual variable that you want to look for. Okay, substitute means after you solve, you plug it into the other, and you'll only have one variable left. Step 3, solve, and you get that solution for the variable. Step 4, plug it back in to find the other variable. Check your answer. Okay, sometimes you can start off right here. You don't always have to. Sometimes you can start off here. Sometimes you can skip step 1 if one of the items is already solved for. Okay, so we have 3 options here. So let's identify our 3 options. 4 options. We have 4 options. Okay, I can solve for any of these 4 variables. I can solve for this x, this y, this x, or this negative y. Now, these 2 are bad choices because I have to divide by 5 eventually, and this one I have to divide by negative 1. I don't want to do either one of those things. These are much better choices because all I have to do is divide by 1 or divide by 1. So these are the ones I'm going to go for. I think I'm going to solve for x. Again, the key is solve for the small variables, usually the one with a 1 in front. There's an invisible 1 right here. So let's solve for x. So x by itself, that means in the end, I want to get x all alone. So let me draw this so I have a goal to reach. My goal is x all by itself. X equals something. So that means to make this look like that, I have to get rid of this y. So minus y, and I have to do it on both sides. And now I have x equals 10 minus y. X equals 10. X equals. That's what I wanted. That's what I got. Okay? Now, if x equals 10 minus y, what does x equal? Well, obviously, I just said x equals 10 minus y. So instead of this x, I'll write 10 minus y. Now, this equation here, I'll bring all the parts back down, 5, and then I have a minus y equals 2. What you notice is I know, okay, now that I brought the rest of the equation down, I'm just going to solve for that single variable. So that means I want y all by itself. Let me make sure that I can keep my equation equal. So I'm going to keep this balanced all the way through. Again, solving means variable all by itself. At the end, y equals something. And I got to figure out what that something is. Okay, so simplify before solving. 5 times 10 is 50. 5 times negative y, watch your signs, is negative 5y. And bring down this negative y equals 2. Combine your like terms right here. Combine like terms, standard 2.0. Negative 6y, bring down the 50. And that equals 2. Get y by itself, so I wanted to get y by itself. This 50 needs to go away. Minus 50, minus 50. And now I'll have, this will go away, that's additive inverse. And I have negative 6y equals negative 50 and positive 2 make negative 48. Divide by negative 6. Divide by negative 6. These cancel out. Multiplicative inverse. Y all by itself. That's my goal. That's what I wanted. That's what I have. 48 divided by 6. Negative divided by negative is a positive 8. Okay, my answers always have two parts. A y, which I now know is equal to 8, and an x value, which, it's a good question. Don't know. But I do have the other equation, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug in this y value of 8. I know what y equals. I'll just put it right there. So let me get rid of this because I don't need that anymore. And I'll write my equation as x equals 10 minus 8, because that's my y value. So x equals 10 minus 8. I know what 10 minus 8 is. That's 2. 2 comma 8. Okay. Now I can test that to make sure that's a true statement and plug them in here. Here's our original equation. 10, x plus y equals 10. So x plus y equals 10. And my x value is 2 plus our y value of 8 equals 10. And that's a true statement. Okay, students too. Now, again, the most important part is identifying the correct variable. You have to choose the right option, or else you can make your life really, really difficult. Now, I can choose to divide by 2 later, which is pretty easy, but not if I had to divide 3 by 2 or 7 by 2. I do not want to divide by negative 3 either. Bad choice. Here, I can divide by 2, but again, I don't want to divide 5 by 2. That sucks. This has a 1. Dividing by 1 is easy. Dividing by negative 1, a little more work, but not impossible. So I'm going to solve for this y. This y is the one that I want. So in the end, I'll have a good choice. Okay, so let's solve for y. That means y should be all by itself. So that means in the end, I should have y equals something. Okay, so to get everything else away, let's get rid of this 2x first. Minus 2x, minus 2x. We'll keep our skills the same. I'll put the x first. Minus y equals negative 2x plus 5. Y is almost by itself. I just got to divide by negative 1. Divide everything by negative 1. Because I want a positive y, just y, not a negative y. So divide by negative 1. Negative and negative cancel. Y divided by 1 is just a y equals, I've reached my goal. Y all by itself. Negative divided by negative is a positive 2x. Positive divided by negative is a negative 5. Now, this is my y value. Y equals 2x minus 5. Y equals 2x minus 5. y equals 2x minus 5. That is my y value. Everything else comes down. 2x minus equals 7. Now I have my new equation, and I only have x's. I don't have any more y's. Okay, so no more y's, just my x's. I'll solve for x. I'll distribute first. Oh, this should be a 3 before I forget. Minus 3. I'm only replacing the y. So I'll distribute that. Negative 3 times x is 2x is negative 6x. Negative 3 times negative 5 is positive 15. And I'll bring this down. 2x equals 7. Distribute, add, or subtract, combine our like terms. Negative 4x plus 15 equals 7. Again, now I want to solve for x. I want the variable all by itself. So get rid of this 15 first. Minus 15, minus 15. Negative 4x equals negative 8. Divide by negative 4. Divide by negative 4. X equals, hey look, that's my goal. That's what I got. Negative divided by negative is a positive. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So I know x equals 2. All I need to do is find my y value. Okay. Now, since I know what x equals 2, I see an x over here. And I have a y equals. So I'm just going to replace that with a 2. Because that's what x equals. I'm going to solve my equation. Y equals 2, here's my x, minus 5. Minus 5. 2 times 2 is 4, minus 5, which is negative 1. Make sure you get your signs straight. Negative 1. That's our answer. So all I gotta do is plug it into any equation to make sure it's true. Okay. I'm gonna pick this original equation. 2x minus y equals 5. So 2x minus y equals 5. 2 times the x value, which is 2, minus our y value, which is negative 1, should equal 5. Okay, so let's double check. 2 times 2 is 4. Negative times a negative is a positive 1 equals 5. 4 plus 1 equals 5. It's true. Okay. Okay, teacher do number 2. Now this is a little bit different. Now, if you look at our instructions, it says solve an equation for one variable. Now, this one, I already have a variable all by itself. I have y equals. I have a y equals over here also. So, I don't necessarily need to solve for anything because it's already done. This is already checked off. So I can pretty much start here. I'm going to substitute. Now, according to this equation, it says y equals negative 2. Y equals, so what does y equal? Well, according to this statement, it says y equals negative 2. Y equals negative 2. Y equals negative 2. But it also equals x minus 3. This is equal to y, which is over here, and this is equal to y, which is over here. Two statements that are exactly the same. Okay? Now all I'll do is solve for x. Again, I want x by itself, and since it's on the right side, I'll make it x equals. To get this 3 away, I'll add 3, and I'll add 3. I'll get x equals 1. Now, it looks like I only have one answer. X is 1. But I also have a y value. Our y value, there it is, negative 2. Those are my two answers. One of them is kind of given to me. One of them is a freebie. I know what y equals. All I have to do is figure out what x is. Plugged it in, x equals negative 2. Okay, so this is a second students do, and we'll approach this a little bit in a different way, but the ideas are very similar. They're basically the same ideas. Now I'm going to rewrite this equation, and I'm going to switch this side with this side. I'm just going to switch them. And because they're equal, they can be switched pretty easily. Negative x minus 3 is equal to y. They're the same. Now this side over here is y equals 3/4 x plus 4. I just rewrote it. Now, let's see how these interact. This is equal to y. This is also equal to y. Now, what that means is I can basically get rid of the middle portion because they're all equal to each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this middle section, and I'm going to make this section equal to that section. Now, all I have to do is solve for the last variable. There's just an x. Now, the only thing that's different is in the last equations, in the first teacher do and students do, all the variables are on one side. Now the variables are two sides. But that shouldn't bother us because that is unit 2D, solving equations with variables on both sides. So I'm going to keep my equation equal, balanced, okay, maybe not that top part, okay, and I'm going to get x all by itself, okay, x all by itself. So first thing I need to do is move my x's. I'm going to move the smaller of the two. I'm going to add an x here. I'm going to add one x over here also. The invisible number in front is a 1. Now, the hardest part about this is the fractions need to be added together. I know it's going to be something x. I just need to add 3/4 plus 1. Now, this 1, when I add it together, whenever I add fractions, these need to be the same. So I'll make this a 4. That must mean this top number must also be a 4. So 3 plus 4 is 7/4. Okay, so this is 7/4. That represents my x values. Bring everything else down, a positive 4 and a negative 3. Negative 3. And I'm going to get x all by itself. Apparently it's on this side, so I'm going to move this 4 out of the way. Minus 4, minus 4. Okay, that goes away. And I'm left with just 7/4x is equal to -7. Now, how do I get rid of this? I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal. I'm going to multiply this side by 4/7. I'll multiply this side by 4/7. 4's cancel here. 7 cancels here. X equals, here the 7's cancel, but the negatives don't, so all I have is -4. X equals -4. Good. I have one part of the equation. It's only one part. X equals -4. So if I have, usually my x's are in red, so I'll try and keep that common. X equals -4. I need to find my y value. My y value, I'm not sure. But at least I know that my x value is -4. So I'm going to rewrite this equation, y equals negative, and then my x value minus 3. My x value is -4. And I'll solve. Look, I only have one variable. Figure what this is. I got my y. So I have y equals negative times a negative is a positive 4 minus 3. Y equals 4 minus 3. That's easy. It's 1. Now the last two, pretty easy. This one, I already have a variable that's solved for. That's already by itself. So if I go back to my instructions, solve for an equation, any equation for one variable. This one is already solved. X is already by itself. X equals y minus 6. X equals y minus 6. X equals y minus 6. So that's going to replace my x value. Let's bring down the rest of the equation. The 2 comes down. The plus 3y equals 33. I'll distribute 2y minus 12 plus 3y equals 33. Don't want to forget that. Combine my like terms. 2y and 3y make 5y minus 12 equals 33. And then I'll get y by itself, plus 12, plus 12. These cancel. 5y equals 33 minus 12. Oh, plus 12, sorry. Plus 12 is 5, and then 4, divide by 5, divide by 5. Y equals 9. Y equals 9, y equals 9, y equals 9. I just repeat myself because sometimes we forget. Y equals 9. What does y equal? Oh, yeah, I repeated myself. Y equals 9. So instead of y, I'll write 9. X equals 9 minus 6. X equals 3. Done. Last, students do. Again, I have to solve for a single variable. I have some choices. Divide by 2. Divide by 1. That's a good one. Divide by 1. Divide by 1. Or divide by negative 3. Not going to divide by negative 3. Not going to divide by 2. I'm just going to divide by 1. I'm going to add 3y to both sides. So the nice thing about this one here is that I'm going to make a negative into a positive. This negative 3 is now positive 3y. So x equals 3y minus 2. X equals 3y minus 2. X equals 3y minus 2. I'll bring down the rest of the equation. The 2, the plus y equals 10. And then I'll solve. Again, one variable left. 6y minus 4. Bring down this y. Plus y equals 10. Combine my like terms. 7y minus 4 equals 10. Again, y by itself. And I want to add 4 to get rid of this 4. Add 4. 7y equals 14. 10 plus 4 is 14. Divide by 7. Divide by 7. Y equals 2. 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 And I'll finish off this equation. X equals 3 times 2 minus 2. X equals 3 times 2 is 6 minus 2. X equals 4. X equals 4. Okay, I know there's a lot of information. This one is pretty tricky. So watch the video multiple times, slow it down a little bit if you need to. Okay, once you're done, take out your Prep notebook. If you haven't finished these yet, go ahead and do so. If you have finished them, work on your rough draft for your essay. It's due next week. This is due in 1 week. Due December 27th. Next week, Wednesday. Next Wednesday. Okay? Collaborative group, you can work on the back. Once you work with me, we're going to work on our benchmark questions. Okay? Because we do have our retake next week. So, green group, open your computers. Collaborative group tables, work together. I'll point out some tutors. If I point you out as a tutor, it's because you're going to do well on your whiteboard practice. You can prove to me you know it. You only have to complete half of the work. Okay? In the middle, take out a clean sheet of paper. We'll work on the benchmark review together.